During the summer of 2019, the Federal Aviation Administration, NASA, and industry partners successfully carried out a pilot program that demonstrated how traffic management of unmanned aircraft systems, or UAS, can work in the future. The demonstrations, conducted at 3 separate test sites selected by the FAA for the UAS Traffic Management Pilot Program, or UPP, showed that multiple drone operations can be safely conducted below 400 feet and in close proximity to each other in airspace where FAA air traffic services are not provided. The purpose of the UPP was to demonstrate a prototype data sharing service that will support expanded future operations. It enables sharing of intent and situational awareness between the FAA, UAS service suppliers or USSs, and UAS operators, otherwise known as drone pilots. A key element of these demonstrations was the ability for USSs to generate UAS volume reservations, or UVRs, which are notifications to drone operators regarding high-priority air or ground activities, such as medevac or search and rescue operations. Once a UVR is issued, drone pilots nearby can safely deconflict airspace and permit priority operations to take precedence and be carried out safely. The first demonstration, conducted by the Virginia Tech Mid-Atlantic Aviation Partnership in Blacksburg, Virginia, on June 13, 2019. In this instance, 4 separate UAS operations took flight relatively close to one another, simulating a hobbyist flying a drone in a programmed scan of a field, a Part 107 operator doing aerial photography of an historic home, an agricultural mapping operation, and a company providing drone deliveries of consumer products. Because the flights were within controlled airspace, all flight plans were submitted through USSs using the Low Altitude Authorization and Notification Capability, known as LAANC, and received approval to launch as planned. A few minutes into these flights, a UVR was issued for a medevac helicopter route that would intersect several of the planned areas of operations for the nearby drone pilots. The helicopter flight, in this case, was electronically simulated. Each UAS operator responded to the UVR by either adjusting their operations to avoid conflicted airspace or by landing their aircraft to lessen any potentially dangerous situation. Each operation was conducted without conflict in a successful demonstration of how UTM systems may work in the future. The second demonstration, on July 10, 2019, involved the Northern Plains UAS test site in Grand Forks, North Dakota. During this demo, 3 drones were flown in relative close proximity. The flights included a Part 107 drone operator simulating an aerial photography session of firefighter training activities, another Part 107 operator pretending to inspect power line damage after a storm, and a University of North Dakota aviation student using a drone as if scanning for the best tailgating location near the football stadium. The 2 Part 107 operators submitted flight plans via LAANC because they were flying within a few miles of a commercial airport and received proper approvals. A few minutes into the flights, a UVR was issued for a simulated medevac helicopter transporting a patient to the hospital from the firefighter training area. The UAS operator at the fire training facility responded by landing her drone, while the other 2 determined they were outside the UVR area and didn't present a danger of conflicted airspace. The third UPP demo was conducted by the Nevada Institute for Autonomous Systems in Las Vegas on August 1, 2019. In this case, 3 UAS operations were carried out within close range of each other. A simulation of a golf course superintendent and Part 107 pilot surveying the course before a tournament, a local realtor flying as a Part 107 operator capturing video of a property she is selling, and a Part 101 hobbyist pilot searching for the best area to take her boat in Lake Las Vegas. The 2 Part 107 operators submitted their flight plans via LAANC and received approvals well in advance of their operations, as the demo was conducted within 3 miles of Las Vegas's McCarran International Airport. In this scenario, a few minutes into the flights, a fire erupts at the golf course clubhouse. Local firefighters dispatch a helicopter to contain the fire, submitting a UVR through one of the USSs as part of their standard procedures. The helicopter flight was simulated in this demonstration. Each of the UAS operators react to the UVR by either landing or continuing their operations at a safe distance. All 3 UPP demos were completely successful and provided useful, practical data that will be factored into initial industry and FAA capabilities required to support UAS traffic management operations. Ongoing analysis of the demonstrations will help all stakeholders understand the level of investment required for implementation. The results from the UPP are providing a proof of concept for UAS traffic management capabilities currently in research and development, and will provide the basis for initial deployment of UTM capabilities. Ultimately, the FAA will define the UTM regulatory framework that third-party providers will operate within. The FAA's role at this phase of the process is to work with industry partners as they develop the data infrastructure and allow for all parties to share this data seamlessly to make the UTM a practical reality in the coming years.